how old school does this feel? I'm sat cross-legged on my bed because that is a position that my very poorly pelvis feels comfortable in, and you're on the bed too, so you're a little bit wobbly, but I like to think of it as makes you feel authentic. And I'm just turning to the right page in my notes because today I'm going to be talking to you about my birth plan, my very positive birth plan. And I will just say from the off, I realise that birth plans can ebb and flow, and sometimes things don't work out or there's an emergency, and if that happens, obviously I'm going to adapt whatever we do to suit that scenario. But this is my like wish list. If I could have the best possible, you know, exactly what I wanted, if I could actually pick it and make it exactly everything on my list, then this is what it would be. So in case you don't know, I already have a 6-year-old daughter, and my experience of delivering her was very poor, very negative. That's not to say that she's poor or negative at all. She's incredible. But the experience I had, I was induced at 42 weeks, and I had a medicated managed labour in the hospital that lasted start to finish about 36 hours. I didn't have an epidural, instead I had Meptid, which didn't agree to me, and I had a very bad reaction to that, and I was sick a lot, lost a lot of fluid. There's a whole blog post on this somewhere in the ethos if you want to read it, but yeah, I laboured on my back and delivered her on my back, and suffered tearing and had an episiotomy, and then I had a hemorrhage afterwards. I had quite a lot of blood loss. So all in all, positive in that I had a beautiful baby, but I came away from that experience not feeling very well. I had it was hard to bond, I had PTSD, not great. So to try and avoid that happening again, I've put the following systems in place. Number one, I've hired a private midwife. The reason I did that is originally we did think about going private altogether, but it's just not worth it where we live. There isn't a private birthing centre. I didn't think that by travelling far away to have private care, I wasn't sure that it would be any, I wasn't sure if it would be significantly better, because I will say that everybody that I've dealt with in the NHS has just been absolutely incredible and so loving and so kind and doing as much as they possibly can for me. So I wasn't sure that it was worth it, but I hired Jane, my private midwife, because it meant that I could ensure that I would have her for my antenatal care, my delivery and my postnatal care. And on the NHS you're not able to ensure that because it's just, you know, whoever's available. So I wanted her because I wanted to feel bonded with someone, and like, this person is going to see you very, very vulnerable, and I thought, you know, I want to get to know someone before they like see literally all of me. So she's going to be there. And then also I've really bonded with a lovely lady called Paula, a midwife at the NHS. She's the matron there, and she has done a lot of so last week I talked about the CBT therapy that I've had and yada yada, and she's been doing a lot of that, so I feel very safe and comfortable with her. So my team is going to be Jane and Paula and Liam, and I'm going to have, or I would like to have, a home water birth. I think this will be best for me because I'll be relaxed at home, I'll be in my own environment, so I'll be able to release so much more oxytocin, which is like your hormone to like help you give birth, I'm told, and I'll just be feeling so much more relaxed and more able to just get on with what I want to do. More on that in a mo. I am going to take any drugs that they offer me at home, but I know that you can't have an epidural, which is fine because I didn't have one with Darcy. You can't have Meptid and Pethidine and such, but I didn't react well to that at all in the hospital. So I was like, well, I don't want either of those two, so, you know, I'll just see how I go without. But gas and air will be on hand, and who knows, I could very well be like, get me an epidural, get me to hospital right now, but at the moment I'm aiming to not do that. I've had hypnobirthing with Siobhan from the Positive Birth Company, and I say it all the time, but that woman, oh my god, has she put my mind at ease. So when I had Darcy, I was in a little hospital delivery suite, which was just a little room. There wasn't a toilet. I had to like walk somewhere else for the toilet, and you're just in this little tiny white room on a white bed right in the middle, and everyone can walk around and look at you, and you're just this spectacle. I felt like that everyone could see me with my legs wide open. I had to use a bedpan in the room, which I didn't like. It was completely undignified. Sorry about the noise, someone's doing some fireworks. Wow. We'll just carry on through the fireworks. Maybe I'll just pause for a second. Compare it to this. If someone came into the toilet with you and said, have a poo, and they were standing over you watching you, and you probably didn't really know them very well, and then another 3 people came in, and then your husband or boyfriend, and you're laying on your back and you're not actually sitting on the toilet, you've got to just do that and everyone's watching you do it, how easily do you think you'd be able to go to the toilet? And the answer is probably not very easy, because that's something we just want to kind of get on with and not make a big song and dance about. And I'm not at all, oh my god, there's fireworks. I'm not at all comparing. Now obviously I'm not comparing having a baby to having a poo, but it's of a similar notion, and I want to be somewhere I feel comfortable and relaxed and with people I know and I feel happy to see me. I'm so glad there's so much fireworks going on while I'm trying to talk about this. You get my drift. Basically, I think I'll be a lot happier at home, and there better not be any fireworks, although I am due New Year's Eve, so there may well be. This might be the soundtrack to me giving birth. Oh, I wish you could see. I am just very pregnant right now. Oh dear, this really is like the olden times. I miss doing videos like this. Yeah, I'm obviously not comparing like giving birth to your beautiful baby to like having a poo, but I am comparing how I just feel very, obviously you feel quite vulnerable, like someone can see like every little part of your very private bits and blah blah blah. So I feel like I'll better able to like deliver in every way at home. I'm also going to be aiming to deliver on all 4s or standing or in a much more gravity friendly position on your back. I've researched it and everyone has told me it's just not as good. You've got to like get the baby up beyond your coccyx and then out, whereas when you're on all 4s it's more coming out and down, and I think I would just feel much better like that. Also, at the moment with my like SPD problem with my pelvis, I feel comfortable in that position, so we'll see. And the water of the water birth pool will be very soothing. I would really like to have delayed cord clamping. This is something that I don't know if I had with Darcy or not. I don't think I did. I was on so many drugs, I just cannot remember how long it took to deliver the placenta, but that's where I had all my issues, my hemorrhage. So we're gonna have to play that by ear, but I've read a lot about the benefits of delayed cord clamping, and I would really like to give it a go. I'd also like to try and deliver the placenta naturally and in my own time rather than having the injection, but again I think that's going to be something that we're going to play by ear. We're going to have the injection on hand. Is it called Syntocin? Something like this. We're going to have that on hand and see how we go, and if I don't need it then great, and if I do need it then I do. And also if I do have a repeat hemorrhage and it's significant, then obviously we're going to have to call an ambulance and just go straight to hospital. But we're hoping not. The problem is, if you've had a hemorrhage, the consultant has said to me, you are at a higher risk of having another hemorrhage. However, the 3 other midwives that I've sought advice from have talked about how, because my delivery with Darcy was so invasive and my labour was so invasive and medicated and there were so many errors, then that could well have caused it. So we're just going to play it by ear. Please keep your fingers crossed that that doesn't happen and I just have a lovely like natural delivery of the placenta and delayed cord clamping and yada yada. I'd really like to have lots and lots of skin to skin, like an hour of just holding her against me and feeling her. I didn't have that with Darcy, and I do think it really affected things. I'm going to be asking everybody in my team to use very positive language. I'm super affected by things like that. I think like the power of your mind and like the stimulus you have around you really does affect you. So in hypnobirthing we were taught to call contractions surges. Instead of saying that was really powerful, really painful, you say that was really powerful, that was really strong, and then you feel like it's a positive thing. Because if you're just constantly saying, I'm in so much pain, I'm in so much pain, oh, that was painful, that was painful, that was painful, then obviously that's negative, that's not positive language. I'm reticent to say it because, I mean, I've had contractions and they just were bloody painful. They just bloody well were. So we'll see if this works. I'll let you know afterwards, because it might not, but if it's worth giving a go is what I'm trying to say. I've put here hospital if need be. Like, obviously if I'm not labouring well, or both midwives or one of the midwives feels like there's something wrong, I'm just going to go straight to the hospital. Although I'm adamant that I want a home birth, I'm not adamant that we have to stay at home. Like, if there's going to be a danger, then obviously just going to go to hospital. In terms of vlogging the experience, I'm not going to worry about it. If the camera gets picked up and I take some footage, or someone else gets a few clips, then that would be great, because I would like to do a labour and delivery story video afterwards. But if they don't, or I don't, it's definitely not going to be my top priority. I don't have any footage from Darcy's birth, and I'm not too worried about that. So see how we go. I'm probably not going to share photos of her straight away either. I get a lot of questions about this because I don't share a lot of Darcy anymore. I will be sharing more of the baby than I do of Darcy at the moment. And the reason for that is Darcy is so much older and she has her own little personality and character, and I want her to have the opportunity to have her character and personality be private, whereas obviously babies and toddlers, their personalities and characters aren't quite as developed. So I'm a lot more relaxed about sharing the baby, but just for the first few days I'm going to see how it goes, see what I want to do, play it by ear. I want Darcy to be the first person to have some time with the baby before we put like full pictures out there. But yeah, I just think I'll just need a bit of time. I'm not really taking maternity leave. I will still be making videos and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be like no pressure on myself, and if we go a week without something, then I'm not going to worry about that at all. But I'm going to film bits that I can like edit together when I feel up to it, and obviously Instagram and Insta story and stuff like that. But I'm just going to take it really easy and try to enjoy the newborn stage, because I didn't with Darcy and I feel sad about that. I really enjoyed the latter stages, but I found the newborn stage quite difficult. So yeah, I'm just going to take it easy and recover and allow myself that time to recover. So for January you might not see much of me, but I'll be back, she says. Great. I don't know what the lighting in this is, very bright, isn't it? That lamp is very bright. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have had a positive birth experience, I would love to hear it. Or if you put anything in your birth plan, or you're planning anything in your birth plan that you think I might not have thought of that really helped you, that was really good, like TENS machines, I've heard a lot of good things about those. Warm flannels, what kit do I need? Because I've never done a home birth. I've got a list from my midwife, but throw it at me. I'd love to hear all your top tips. If you've had a negative experience, I would very politely ask that you don't share that with me until after my baby's born, just so that I don't freak myself or spook myself, freak myself out. And if you did have a negative experience, I'm so sorry, because I know how rough that is and my heart goes out to you. It's just that for right now I'm trying to shield myself a little bit from things that might scare me, basically. I'll leave it there and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.